we're live, and I totally forgot to do the countdown and everything.
Yeah.
One of those any of the fancy videos of like, hey, we got a book coming out, and
but hey, we do have a book coming out.
Speaking of, that is quite similar to this setup of getting prompt words and a prompt, and then having some challenge, because writing a blank page isn't a challenge enough.
Of course not. We would never.
Yes. So today's story is apparently it came from one of our bonus prompts when we did this originally, because of course we started with working off a prompt book called Write the Story, published by Piccadilly Publishing or whatever. Totally gave them credit and have their link and stuff when we did it. But now we're editing those stories. And so no longer do we care about what Write the Story did. Mm-hmm. So they don't get credit anymore. It's created. They've lost their credit now. So we got the bonus is what we created ourselves. And in the bonus, it's called One Too Many. And I'm pretty sure, based what I'm reading so far, it's one of those challenges where we had to remove one of the senses of the characters. Because I
remember that.
Yeah. And so I chose sight to be removed. And I'm interested to see now, with like a fresh mind, what we think about our pieces. Each other's pieces, because I'm not going to read it, but I will read yours. And this is one of the ones where I wrote more than you.
I just glanced at it and I was like, "Ooh, you were like."
Yeah, 631 words for mine. I forgot to see what yours was. Let me see. Nope. Keep going. There's more paragraphs after that. Also, I do like double spaced and
formatting and everything.
Yeah. 435. So not by much.
So I just like glanced at it and I immediately was like, oh yeah, I remember this story totally. I have no idea.
It's funny how much we remember. Like, we wouldn't be able to pull it out of thin air, but the moment like you just get like a teaser, you're like, oh, this one.
Yeah.
And then the key is if you can remember your twist or your ending or something. Yeah.
And I think I'm excited to see what I wrote. I have no idea. So.
All right. So what I'm going to do right now is fine. I'm going to set up the timer on my screen. Where's my mouse? Where did you go? Don't hide. Found it. All right. I feel like I got to sneeze. Guess not. Cool.
It'll come back to you like the most inconvenient.
I know. All right. 30-minute timer. Or no, we usually do 20 minutes for Emma.
Yeah.
Why do I always feel like I'm starting over of like, what do we do?
Wait, no, we do 10 minutes to leave comments and feedback, and then we switch.
And then we go to 30?
Yes, for the editing, for us to actually edit our own stories. 10 minutes for notes and feedback, 30 minutes for drafting.
I'm trying to get that little symbol that allows you to adjust the screen split. And it kept on like, I'm hovering over it and it's like, and I'm like, I'm trying to click you. You're not blinking long enough.
They should make it so they like snap together. And you couldn't just like drag them when they're snapped together. And as long as you get in the
thing, it's already together. And I'm just trying to slide it over more. But that was my hovering issue. So
that's the worst. I was also thinking Windows, because Windows is the worst about that. I do like Windows for a lot of things, but for that.
Okay, so I'm going to change this to 10 minutes, not 30. All right. Are we ready?
Ready.
Or ready enough? All right. 3, 2, 1. Time is up. And I accidentally clicked comment when I didn't mean to comment. Return to editing. There we go.
So I added my notes.
Yes.
And I really like this story. I think after my notes, it would need a sensitivity reader.
Yes, which I think we had the conversation about.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah, but I really love the story, and I did. So I have a few questions, a few places where it was just like a tweak as far as the, like typos and stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
but
that's me. Hi.
But mostly, I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
But I mean, that's really it. It's solid. I think it was solid to begin with. So.
So was yours. I was like, I mean, but I'm used to that with you. I'm usually just going, give me more. So, all right. Well, you already started talking about mine, so let's start going through it. I see the edits of making sure I have the right grammar and spelling. So you want to talk about other than that what needs to be done?
So the questions that I have, let me scroll back here. The first one that I think I put in, send out feelers, made me think of like sci-fi instead of someone like feeling around on the counter and like getting comfortable in a space. And actually one note that I didn't put in there, but I was curious because it's not explicitly stated. The grandmother smelling things a lot too. We don't know for sure if the grandmother can see or not, or if the grandmother has just spent a lot of time with this grandchild and is
that's an interesting take. Yeah,
connecting with them in this way, and like really takes an effort to.
Whichever's more creative is what I intended.
Okay. I like the idea of the grandmother
connecting.
Yeah, especially since I know that this is what I've heard, but like I said, I'm not a sensitivity reader. I'm not an expert in this, but this is just what I've heard, is that there's a lot of like, I don't want to say magical, but like, oh, well, the character is blind, so obviously they can hear really well. And it's like, no, that's not how that works. You can hone a sense and like pay attention to it and learn to utilize it, but everybody has, everybody can do that. Everybody could like, close their eyes and sit down in a space and really pay attention to what's happening around them and listen to things. So to say someone automatically has super hearing because they're blind is not accurate. Which is why I like the idea of the grandmother just putting in this effort to work with their grandchild.
Kind of teaching them and stuff. It does kind of make me think of I'm not sure if I sent you I'm not even sure if it was real or YouTube, but it was this girl and it was so wholesome. I made sure to show my daughter and I was like, this is the type of guy I want you to date, or girl, but this person, okay? And so this guy comes up, knocks on the door, and the girl walks out and she has a stick. And he's like, what's the stick for? She's like, well, I mean, just in case. And he's like, just in case what? She's like, didn't Taylor tell you I'm blind? He goes, you're blind? She's like, she didn't tell you? No, I had no clue. I mean, I knew it was a blind date. I didn't know that you were blind. And it gets so much better. Like, and she's like, oh, it's fine. I'll just go back inside. He's like, no, wait. And she's like, what? He's like, he's like, can you still eat? She's like, yeah, I can still eat. And he's like, all right, then why would I not want to go out with you? Let's go get some food. And so they're trying to decide where to go. And he's like, all right, how about this? I hold up my right hand, we'll go this place, hold up my left hand, we'll go this way. You guess, or something. Or it was you pick. And so he holds up his hand and she goes, right hand. And he goes, no. And she goes, you just switched your hands. I heard you. And he's like, how the hell did you hear that? And I didn't.
That's so funny.
And just the whole situation, they end up going off. It's one of those like doorbell videos and stuff. I was just like, oh, this is so cute. But to have your meet cute captured.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Like a doorbell cam?
What stood out to me is that she heard him switching, just the swoosh or whatever it was. And it was kind of cool because they were only like 4 feet from each other. So anyway, back to the story. Okay. But that's sensitivity readers. Cool that the grandma is connecting with her on this way. Try to knock out the sci-fi vibes because that's not the case.
Then the next one that I have is when the grandmother is smelling the fruit.
Yeah.
If she offers it to the child and like encourages them to smell it, and they talk a little bit about what they're smelling.
Yes.
Versus the grandmother just saying, below green apples smell like pink. And I did also put what I think of when I smell a green apple.
I'm laughing at myself for putting applies. Like that was definitely a finger smash situation.
Yeah, but kind of them having a conversation so that the child is labeling the smells themselves, so it's easy for them to identify how they remember it, not just how the grandmother remembers it. And then got a paragraph, notes. I grabbed the hard twist. I said, grab the what? Because I don't know.
Wait, where was
that? End of the second page.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. Wait, I don't know. I was kind of confused by that. We were also running out of time, so I didn't have time to like go back and deeply read it again.
Yeah, I felt bad. Like I was right up until the end, practically, like the last minute, and I was like, Chandra has more words to look over than me. So
the last one that I put was
little confused.
Now a dog snack when on top of the casserole it is faux meat chips. I don't understand that part at all.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to figure out what the hell. Maybe I was having them make dog food.
I thought they were making an apple crisp because it's a casserole.
I want to say I remember looking up and I'm like, can dogs have apples or something?
Dogs can have apples.
Yeah, but okay.
Yeah, that's all I got. I was those 2 points. I was just like, huh.
So, all right, for the most part, I got something there that might be ready for a sensitivity reader after the edit. All right. Okay. So, love the opening setup of like how gross everything is. I feel a glob on my neck and I'm starting to smell like a wet dog. Like we're invading the senses right now with how gross it is. But at this point, luckily you don't have to mention eyesight at this point. I feel like we're covering well with smell and hearing. Like you cover all the other senses. Just about. Yeah, smell, hear. The only thing is I would expect in the next paragraph, I said this later that I wanted this, but I need touch. Like bring touching in sooner. Because you don't have her even touching anything until like, and that was the other thing. I was like, I labeled it her and you never give a gender. So whoops. But the straw bed and everything you didn't bring you had like second last paragraph, and I was like, I want touch sooner. Like, are things hard? Are her things soft? And I'm jumping ahead on that. The next point of talking about gagging, like just I gag at the thought, and I'm fine with the echo of I gag at the thought, then I gag again. But me gagging involves opening your mouth, and we just said she doesn't want to open her mouth. So I was like, maybe she pushes down the bile that's rising in her throat or something. Maybe not so cliche of that, but something of that nature. All right. Here. Okay. This is where I was talking about. I want more about the place. I'm fine with if after this paragraph, the third one, we started hearing about the place, it would make sense. Because right now we went from senses to inside, like to the critters that she can see, and then inside her mind of what she could have had and no longer has in this space. So I feel like touching would be the next thing. And you could still have, because what I do like the last line of her having her hand in front of her face, and even though she knows it's there, she can't see it. Or it doesn't exist or whatever, like it's in her mind. That can still say the last line, but I just like maybe she's touching the bed, or she rolls over in the straw bed.
Well, because right now she's basically floating in a really disgusting space.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So ground the character.
Yeah. I was like,
not remember any.
I had ideas as I was reading in the cycle of like, I was like, is she on the floor or in a chair? Can she move freely? Is she cramped, or is she tied up? And if she's tied up, how do the bindings feel? Maybe due to the sores on her body, we can kind of get an idea, a hint of how long she's been there already. And such. And then I was like, oh, she's not tied up. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
But every single time I read dirt caked hand, I'm like, she's baking. For some reason in my head, I'm like, no, wait, no.
That's funny.
So a line that stood out to me, and this is what gave me fantasy vibes, since you got sci-fi vibes, but they'll tell me it will be forever or until I die, in response to how long she'll be down there. And I'm like, until death is a human's forever. Like if you're mortal, death is forever. It's the rest of your life. But if death and you're immortal, forever does stand on its own. So I was like, where are we going with this?
Clarify that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to put the spacing a little bit better. Copy and paste was not doing too well. Okay. So you talk about helping write and develop speech and such. And that's when I was going on. I was like, okay, was she getting close to figuring out who her speeches gave away? Because the speeches were about other women who had been kidnapped and stuff. And I was like, was she getting close to figuring out who it was, and her speeches kind of gave away what she knew? Or was the speaker the kidnapper, or is it someone in the audience? And then that's when I also threw in, I was like, hey, straw bed, please bring it sooner.
Gotcha.
And then the last thing is I liked the last line to stand on its own, because we have and actually it'd probably be like this. Okay. Is that we have talking about the kidnapper, then back to the room here of what she's doing, trying to pat the floor, find the straw bed, whatever. Cold walls and stuff. Something scurries across her hand, which I still love. But then I touched my dirty hand to my face and slowly pulled away. But even knowing it was there, you had wasn't for a second there, I couldn't see it. Like that, I wanted as a final line. I felt it was more powerful by itself. But yeah, that's my input, is ground her sooner and expand upon why she's there.
Okay.
or at least why she thinks she's there.
Yeah. I
And
don't really remember this story still, so we're finna find out.
yeah. Though I will say my head went somewhere with the person has an heir, and I was like, okay, is this like someone in training, or did kidnapping the girls result in pregnancies? Like my mind was on using
Why
the
were
word
they being kidnapped?
and just I mean, you can go wherever you want with it, but I just wanted to let you know as a reader where my mind went with it.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
So now I need a there we go. So this one will be 30. We're going to okay. Are we gonna do it?
Yep.
Are we gonna do it? Come on.
Do it.
It wanted to blink. All right. Cool. Okay. You ready?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, wait.
Excuse you. I was about to press start. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
I know we've got 10 minutes left, but if you're finished, I'm also finished.
Too many things to click at once. I was trying to go ahead and copy and paste the story into my Word document because I've been tracking that.
Mm-hmm. I feel like we did pretty good because it's just now 11 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I made all of the changes you suggested, and I was like tracking after I started editing and reading through it in your notes and everything. I was like, oh, I do remember this story.
So did you change your approach or from what you remember?
I think it was just really clarifying because you were on point as usual. And
you were too. Don't set me up as like some editing like pedestal. No, nah.
I'm up to like 650 words now.
Nice. I got up to 736, I think. 760.
Cool.
There we go.
So we did good.
Right now I'm just saving my document real quick. All right. Episode 41 bonus. One too many. Okay. So I'm going to read yours because I want to. All right. Oh, by the way, did we find out the gender of the main character?
Yes.
Okay. The words from the speech echo in my ear along the ringing silence. My faux fur coat is poor protection from the damp, and now it is soaked through. It's begun to smell more like a wet dog. A glob of something cold and wet falls on the back of my neck, but I don't scream. I'm too afraid I'll get something in my mouth. Damp straws prickle my skin, and again, I wish I'd worn something thicker than the chiffon dress I chose for the award ceremony. I can't see them, but I know there are spiders. Spiders? Crickets? Roaches? The thought of an insect in my mouth brings the burning taste of bile to the back of my tongue. I choke down and seal my lips. In some places, people eat crickets for protein. All I can imagine is the feelers getting stuck between my teeth, tickling my mouth, rasping against my lips as it tries to find safety from my gnashing teeth. Again, I try not to gag. The space where I'm held is all imagined. Oh, the space where I'm held is all imagined horrors. I sit still on the cold floor, the stones below me, cold through the mildew and hay. I miss home, the crackle of a wood fire, hot showers, a warm blanket, a full stomach, and Thursday night casserole with lemon bars for dessert. Sometimes in the dark, I can pull the image into my mind, but it's been dark for so long. I tried to imagine my pink room, fluffy floral duvet, and white walls, but I can't quite remember what it looks like. This is why I can't let my mind go there. Start trying to remember the feel of hot soup, the taste of coffee, the warm sun, the warmth of sun on my face. I wiped the tears away with the back of a dirt-caked hand. I could make myself sick with crying. I don't know how long I've been down here. They tell me it will be forever. Till I die. For a moment, the thought is comforting. Maybe if I'm lucky, I'll go insane. One too many. I just never thought the one would be me. Can't believe I helped write and develop that speech. How was it ever okay that any girls or women had been kidnapped? The speeches I'd written hadn't helped and made things worse, made people angrier. My kidnapper had an heir to his kingdom. Somehow I had missed that till it was too late. This was his answer to that problem. Someone who would carry on after he was gone. No one would know the truth. No one but me. And what did people care if I was missing? I had been so quick to dismiss the pain of other women. What did I care? It hadn't been my pain. It was now. I wondered if the child knew their father was a monster, if maybe one day they would ask the right questions, come looking for others. I daydreamed about it, or perhaps it was night. What if, in looking for the others, they found me too? That would be years away. Pure fantasy. That child could not yet walk. Wondered if I'd be able to walk by then. Maybe my joints would be frozen in place from sitting too frightened to move. There'd be no leaving this black hole. I would spend the rest of my life with cold dirt walls and floors as my company, trying to remember what color was. I patted my hand across the floor, feeling for the damp straw that made up my bed. Something small and furry scurried across my hand, tiny toenails digging into my skin. I jerked my hand back. This might actually be worse than being alone. I touched my dirty hand to my face and slowly pulled it away. But even knowing it was there, I couldn't see it. Damn, dude, you did great. As always.
I feel like the pointers that you gave were like just what I needed to hear and helped me like.
It sparked.
Yeah.
You executed. I was just like, I don't know, maybe this.
No,
This
but
is
where
how
you
I interpret it. Is that what you intended?
Yes, that was exactly what I thought I wrote. I believe that's what editing is. This is what I thought I wrote.
Yeah. And what I like is that it could still be interpreted that the child, you don't know if the child came from the kidnapped women or if it's like a wife and child of this person that has no clue.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It is intentionally vague, yeah.
Yeah, and what's also cool, actually, I just realized, and if you ever like expanded upon this, you could twist it. And it's actually a woman that's the monster.
Oh, that would be
And I think because you don't give a gender to the person, the kidnapper, and we always
said the child's father.
Oh shit! Never mind. Yeah, and you said somehow I missed this. That was his answer to that problem. Shit. Never mind. Just kidding.
But that doesn't mean I couldn't make a twist because this is just what the character assumes, not necessarily factual.
Yeah.
So that could be fun.
Could be.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Like you pull us into the space, into the mind, back into the space. Like I like it.
Okay. Thank you. Natalie's story. Today I got to be a sous chef and learn my grandmother's casserole recipe. She helps me navigate in the kitchen, letting me explore where everything is before we begin to actually turn on the heat. Go grab lemons, top shelf, far left side, and the green apples to the right of them, she instructed. I enter the pantry and let my fingers run along the wall until they touch the step stool. I unfold it and take a step. Using it, I'm able to reach the top shelf and grab two fruits, one smooth and waxy, the other slightly bumpier, but slick. Here is the lemon and green apple, Granny, I say as I come back into the kitchen and set them on the counter in front of her. I hear her inhale. Lemon, she says. She inhales again. Nope, red apple. Go back and get the green. She reaches for my hand and places the smooth fruit in it. How do you know it is red instead of green? I ask. Smell it, she says as she grabs my hand and places the waxy fruit in my palm. I inhale. Before I can process the smell, she interrupts. What is the first thing that pops into your mind before you smell it? your mind when you smell it. I smell again. A dew spring morning? Grandma hums. Remember that. I ask, what do green apples smell like then? I think of pink when I smell green apples, she says matter of fact. Glassware reverberates as she sets it on the counter. I shrug and go back to the pantry. I smell the apple in my hand. It smells sweet. I climb up on I climb up to the top shelf again and reach for another smooth fruit. I smell this one and immediately pull it away. It smells sharp and pointed, very crisp, like winter morning. I smile, hoping to develop a sense of smell like my grandmother. I got the green apple, I say as I return to the kitchen, holding up the apple like a trophy. Granny takes the apple from my hand and breathes in. She pats my shoulder, then again on the top of my head. Granny cuts each fruit. My cutting lesson is still far away. The ingredients squish as she stirs them. Ready to mix, she asks? Definitely. I reach out to the bowl in the same area as I heard the glass touch the counter. She places my right hand on the side of the bowl and my left around the spoon. This is folding more than stirring. We're trying to create a glob of batter to dump into the pan, she says as she moves my spoon hand in the pattern. After 2 passes, she lets go, allowing me to go alone. Is it getting harder to fold? She asks a few minutes later. Yes, I've already switched arms, I say, pausing to shake my left hand. Wow. Wow. Let's, 1 second. Let's put it in the pan and into the oven. She clapped her hands together, startling me. The glass slides across the counter, the unseen dirt grinding beneath it until it was right next to the bowl. Granny grunts, and then a blop sound lets me know the batter is in the pan. Granny places a utensil in my hand. Her hand lingers around my grip. This is a spatula. Keep it level like this to use to level the batter, she says. I extend my arm out and lower it slightly until I collide with the casserole, where the casserole begins. I keep one hand on the pan to keep me steady. A bag crackles. Now we need to add a crunch to the top, then get it in the oven, Granny says as she pushes me back slightly. The next part is still confusing. The dogs came into the kitchen, their nails echoing on the floor. One must have bumped into Granny because I heard her say, "Hey," to them, and then lots of little clicks happened at once. I felt something land on my hair at the same time. I grabbed the object from my hair. What's this? I asked. Granny reached her hand out and felt my hand and the foreign object. Well, with this many chefs in the kitchen and some four-legged, that is now a dog snack. When it's on top of the casserole, it is faux meat chips. I join Granny in laughter. Granny pats my shoulder and says, "You're officially heir to have all my recipes."
Okay. I can't help but edit while you're reading sometimes. I'm like, this sounds better this way now that I hear it out loud.
I mean, that is one of the steps of editing, though, right? When you
Yeah.
get to a certain point to read it out loud, because it sounds completely different. Sometimes I'll copy paste stuff into Google Translate and let it read it out to me.
Oh, that's smart.
Because after a while, my brain just shuts off and is like, "You what?" I love it. That's so cute.
I'm laughing at myself for having Granny place the apple in her hand twice, like with 2 sentences in between.
What? I have to say, I'm still confused about what exactly happened and what was in the main character's hair. However, the main character is also confused about what happened.
Yeah. So for me, I thought I cleared it up, but maybe you can help me edit that a little bit better, but it's so Granny is opening the bag of faux meat chips, or whatever, which is the crunchy thing on top of the casserole. I don't know why I went with faux meat, whatever. And so they're crispy and stuff. And so you hear the click of the dog's paws, but then when they bump into Granny, there's more clicks, which is the stuff falling out.
Oh.
And hitting the thing, and one lands in the girl's hair, and she's like, "What's this?" Granny grabs it and goes, "Well, right now it's a dog treat because we can't put it in the food, pretty much. But when it is in the food, it's actually it's a faux meat chip."
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did not get that at all.
Yeah.
My thought would be, one, I thought they were making like an apple crisp, so the crunchy stuff on top would be like the crisp. So
yeah, I was trying to just create something totally different.
So I think two things would help. One would be to clarify that it's not an apple crisp that they're making. And two, to clarify that they are not intentionally making dog treats, because now it sounds like there's dog treats on top of the casserole, was how I read it. And I was like, what kind of casserole has dog treats on top of it? So that part was confusing.
On the floor. Dog snacks. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's perfect.
All right. And then still in the bag, we'll go on top of the casserole. Top of the casserole. Wait, actually the faux meat chips still in the bag will go on top of the casserole.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay.
A
little better.
Perfect. Yeah, that honestly, that clears everything up for me.
Yes. Appreciate it. That's why we go through it. Okay, so I've edited more, and now I got to copy and paste this into my Word document. Copy. Because I save everything. And then I got to update my spreadsheet that shows that I've changed stuff. Because I track everything.
Well, I feel like that was very productive.
I'm at 751 words now with the edits, so, but that's fine. Sweet. Look at us getting things done. It's almost like we're productive writers and can do this any day.
Can you believe it?
Oh, the facade is working. What's really great is that Alex took Spencer to Lowe's, and then they're hitting Kroger and stuff, and they're not back yet. So I might actually get a few minutes of complete silence. Well, once we get off the...
I do not wish to rob you of any of your moments. Yes. So
you got stuff to do too. So
yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up, but we'll be back next month. I'll post again on Instagram with the stream for next month, and we'll see you then.
Yep. And so feel free to watch on the back end. I know my son watches these on the back end, so he helps our watch. He's like, I'm going to watch you. I'm like, I'm right here. I'm going to watch you anyway.
Yeah, but you're more interesting in a video, so there.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm more bubbly instead of like, what kid? What do you want? Which I made. Sorry, side point. I made him. His grandma sent a cyborg hand thing. That think of like kinetics, like creating a robot, but without circuits, and I actually had to make hydraulics with water and stuff, like tubing and everything. And it's a hand that you put over your hand, and when you squeeze it, the fingers squeeze at the end. I had to make that yesterday because grandma sent it. It took me like 4 hours.
You're like,
and I took a break in between because I was just like, I'm done. I can't.
That's totally valid. That's a lot of mechanical things.
And then what's hilarious is that grandma was sent this. The box said ages 7 and up, and I'm like, what 7-year-old could build this thing?
It would take
it wrong like 5 different times.
I think maybe that's the point, is it takes them so long to put it together that they give up on it.
And then the parent does it, or they do it wrong. Because there was like the tubing wasn't pre-measured, and it was in centimeters, and I screwed it up. But luckily I was able to salvage it.
Yeah.
And so one of the tubings was a little bit shorter than it should have been, but it still fits. Thank God.
Oh, that would stress me out. I hate that. Like, send me pre-cut segments. This is complicated enough without me.
Especially because it was like, make sure you cut straight. Don't cut a diagonal. I'm trying.
No, you got to give me a little room to like touch it up and like trim it. And
yes. Oh God. So either way, so that was yesterday, and yeah, we're good. So we'll see.
All right.
Oh, side note. I want to try to do this at the end of our episodes. What are you reading right now?
Ooh. I have a lot of books that I'm reading. What did I just start? I just started something.
What's the one that you want to pick up to read?
My phone has been recording for 78 minutes and 43 seconds.
Whoops.
That's hilarious.
I'm surprised it didn't just go like, we're cutting this recording because there's not enough storage.
Can you imagine I sent you that text? It was a text to you as well, by the way.
You know how many times a recording comes up and I'm like, no, I'm not trying to send that to them.
Literally wasn't.
Thank God we're actually friends instead of me going, God, this bitch, I swear.
That's funny.
And even if I did that, you'd be like, yeah, I did.
I know.
Like,
sorry.
We would totally just like take it and be like, I know, it was me this time.
So I just started to Sir Philip with Love. I'm also reading.
I read that in February because I was impatient.
Them Bones I added to my TBR. Well, yeah, I'm currently. I think I got it on Kindle Unlimited, and then Tragic Bonds is another one that I just started, and then Shadow of Self by Brandon Sanderson. Those are the ones that I most recently started. So I got 2 that I'm currently reading, but 1 pending. Currently reading, and I need to, because I'm trying to read an inimitable book a month. This month it's Storm Gatherers, but I'm only on page 21. Mm-hmm. And we're almost halfway through the month, and that's 305 pages if you include the bonus chapter at the end. So got to get on that. Yeah. But I'm also reading audiobook wise, I got Argyle because I want to read the book before I watch the movie. And from what I can tell, the movie's totally different because the movie is following the author from what I can tell from the previews, whereas the book is just Argyle, like a legit like heist secret agent story, not including the author. I'll have to check that out. I think I maybe added it to my TBR when I saw it come up on your Goodreads feed, but I will.
It is good. Like but of course I like mysteries and like whodunit, and there's a rat among us. Who is it? Like, who can you trust? So it's
very Clue-like.
Yes, and well planned. Like they had to do a heist at a monastery.
Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are the 2 books I'm reading, but what's in queue right now is Call Sign Chaos, and it's about God, what is his name? Of famous general that like
MacArthur?
Department of Defense general.
Oh. The only person.
General Mattis.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it's he wrote it with Bing West.
Cool. You have to
So
tell me how that one is.
yeah, you know me, I like my nonfiction and my memoirs and stuff. So yeah. All right. Thank you for humoring me. I always feel like people forget with writing, you must be reading like a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
And everything. Like seriously, it will help you get better. So
well, I'm glad you mentioned that. I have something else that I'd like to bring up next time when we touch on that. So
alrighty then.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Join us next time on Chandra's channel in May. I was forgetting my months there.
I believe it's May 5th.
May 5th. Yeah, it sounds about right. We try to do like the first Saturday, but the only reason we did the second one this time is because we both had prior engagements. Like I went on a cruise, and if you saw my Instagram feed, you saw that my cruise picked up 7 Cuban immigrants.
Yeah.
And that was as someone who is this is going to sound selfish or whatever, but as someone who's dealing with medication right now, it makes me very sensitive. So just hearing about immigrants made me almost cry to imagine how tough I'm about to cry right now. Dear God, I hate my medication. I need my body to level up.
There were feelings involved, and they are valid feelings. If you go look at the post on Instagram, don't make us cry right now.
So you can see it. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. I will be the one to press in the stream button. And go check out our book. It's in the description, by the way, if you want to check it out.
Do it. Pre-order.
Yes, please. Please pre-order.